Excellency, once again, you're welcome to Manhyia Palace Museum. My name is Ribeiro. We have these two drums called talking drums, means of communication. Several years ago, there were no telephones, no radio, so these were used to communicate messages of the king to the people. We call it in our dialect the tumpan, always male, female, together translate the information to the people. We also have these, the palanquin, means of transport. There were no cars, the king had to travel. So Asante devised these to convey the king from place to place. They have special cloths used to decorate them. The king sits in, the legs stretched, and 4 strong men will carry the king on their shoulders. We have 2 long poles connected through the loops on each side, and they will convey the king on their shoulders with the help of this one. These are dried plantain leaves to cushion them. When the king is riding the palanquin, under normal circumstances, we don't speak to him verbally. We use drums to talk to him. So these are some of the drums that are also used to convey messages to the king. Apart from this one for the king, we also have this one for the queen mother. The queen mother sits on a chair. She is also carried by 4 strong men, 2 in front, 2 at the back. This time the queen mother is carried on the head. She owns the family. She controls the family. She is the only one who can rebuke the king in public, and she advises the king on matters of governance. So our queen mother is very important. They control the family, not the men. So in our setup, we don't bequeath the property of the family to the men, but rather to the women. Thank you. Now we talk about in the video. This was gifted to the Nana Pembe first after his return from exile after 28 years. But Asante refused it, paid the full cost of it before the king moved in. But the fear was that the British would come back one day to claim ownership. So to avoid that, Asante paid the full cost before the king moved in. It's a story. The upstairs for their residence, downstairs administration. The first room about to enter was used by the late king's administrative office. But before we enter, let me talk about this painting. This is the painting of the 14th king. It was painted by a white lady from Hungary. This woman was an artist. The husband was working in Kumasi, so she had paid a visit to the husband. And her visit coincided with the celebration of a festival called Apasidai. So together with the husband, they were part of the celebration. And seeing how beautiful the king was dressed, and there was no color printing, she took a picture of the king, sent it back home, painted him, and brought it back to him as a gift. So this painting has been here since 1950. Princess Center. Here was the office of the late kings. We have the decks, we have the old telephones, and we have the throne, we have the bronze head with the 14th king, and of course we have the flag of Ghana. I also have the flag of Asante. Asante had their own flag and they still have it. The colors yellow, black, and green. The yellow represents their money, rich in gold. The black, the strength of the people. The green, the fertility of the land. So together we say the rich black man in the forest. So that is the meaning. And in it we have the crest or the logo of the king, comprising 3 powerful animals. We have the eagle, we have the crocodile, and we have the python. So together they are very strong in the air, in the river bodies, and on the ground. So Asante Hene represents these animals. In those times, was nowhere you could overtake or overpower our king. Your Excellency, when you look back on the wall, we have the map of Asante before Ghana was born. Ghana is only 68 years this year, but Asante is more than almost 400 years. So that was the extent of Asante Empire before Ghana was born. And at that time, parts of Côte d'Ivoire and even Togo, they were all under Asante Kingdom. But today, we talk of Asante Kingdom only in Ghana, but not only in Ashanti. There's always a difference between Ashanti as one of the administrative regions in Ghana and Asante Kingdom. So Asante Kingdom travels beyond Ashanti region. It goes to 5 other regions. So together make up Asante Kingdom. In actual sense, the population of Asante is about a little over 1/3 of the total population of Ghana. So that is the map before, and we address the king Asante Hene. Asante Hene instead of Ashanti Hene. Because he's not only king or Asante Hene, only in Ashanti, but the other 4 regions. Thank you. Yes, let's go. So here was the first living room our kings used to entertain visitors. And we have the furniture as old as this building. And we have the first television for Asante Nation. At that time, you book an appointment before you watch a television. Because only the king had it. And also have the Asante architecture. Asante started building their own before the colonizer came in. So that was the Asante architecture. Only one door for entrance and exit for monetary purpose, for security purpose. So that was how Asante built. They used the local materials for building. And also have this, the mausoleum. The mausoleum, to us, when the king passes, the body is not buried. The body is embalmed and kept at a sacred place. That place is sacred. Nobody goes there apart from the king and some few chiefs. The king goes there twice every 42 days. So that Asante, every 42 days represent 1 month. Now we have a festival called Akwasidai. Akwasidai simply means a state of being asleep. So the king goes there in the morning to seek their support, their blessing for the day. Then a day after the celebration, he goes back to them to express his thanks and appreciation for a successful celebration. Then we also have the gramophone used by our late kings to play music. So that was what they used. And also have the commemorative mirror gifted to happen by the second by the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, when Ghana had their independence on 6 March 1957. We also have the gold ore. Asante is kingdom of gold. If I've been eating gold, mining gold, doing everything gold. So the gold or gold in its natural form. Gold in its natural form, and this were gift to the kingdom by one of the mining companies before they started working. And also have the miniature cocoa pot. So far, we have 16 Asante kings and 14 queen mothers since the formation of Asante Kingdom in the year 1685. He was the 14th king, Otumfuo Osei Ajimaprempe II, from 1931 to 1970. He was 39 years before he was installed and ruled for another 39 years. So he passed on at age 78 in the year 1970. That is the queen mother, Nana Amasewanya, the 12th queen mother of Asante, 1945 to 1977. In our setup, our tradition, anytime you see the queen mother and the king, they are not husband and wife. They can't marry. They are from the same royal family. So you see them as mother and son, or a brother and sister. Asante, when the king passes, it is the queen mother that selects a new king. And the vice versa, the king selects a new queen mother when the queen mother goes to the village. We don't say the king is dead. We say the king is gone to the village. So when the king, among the 3 kings that lived in this house, he was the longest to live here for 39 years. For 39 years he lived in this house. He fathered 21 children with only 8 wives. That's pretty foolish. And Excellency, we also have the medals here that were all given to the king. I said it because in our setup, the king is not limited by the number of women he marries. And he marries the wives of the late kings. When the late king passes, it is the duty of the current king to take care of them. Because that argument is that who else is qualified to marry the king's wife apart from the king? So the king takes care of them, does everything for them until they die. We have these medals for the king. The first one was bestowed on him by the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah. And this one, President Williams of Liberia, the Life of Liberty. And the king was also bestowed on this one, Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, the Lion of Judah, and he was also given this one by the British King George V of Britain, KBE, Knight of the British Empire. So the king was called Otumfuo Osei Ajimaprempe II. And here was used by the late king to the 10 dignitaries. We have this big chest here. This was given to the king by the University, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Niger. Last year was Otumfuo's 25th birthday. So Niger, the Nigerians gave this one as a gift. From Buckingham Palace, the late Queen Mother Elizabeth II gave this one to the king. When the king was invited in the year 2000, that was the seat the king sat on. So the king gave it back to him as a gift. And this one was given to him by one of the traditional councils in Ghana, Central Regional House of Chiefs. And the last one was used by the late King Otumfuo Kokwa II. Your Excellency, here was used by the kings to 19 dignitaries. When they came like yourself, they were served with wine, champagne. Let me show you some crystals and some glasses that were used to serve them. And you'll be asked to pick your own. But the one you pick determine the drink the king offered. You will never be told. We have wine, champagne, whiskey, water. As far as you pick the big one, water was given. But the small ones, you enjoy your champagne, your whiskey. Telling you don't be greedy. So that was how. We have the table and chairs, and I want to have this object on the table, the family bowl. No, I'll show you the standard architecture. The house will accommodate between 2, 3, 4 families. During the evening's food, our meal is fufu. All the men in the same house will enjoy the meal together. So this represents the men. And they call 2 or 3 heads are better than one. So all the men, when I say the men, I mean the married men. You could be 40 years, 30 years, 50 years unmarried. You are still seen as a boy. So when I talk of married men, I mean, so all the married men will eat together, our wives will eat together, and the children will eat together, signifying that we are one. It also means that I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am. Anybody could discipline everybody's child. We never had any privation, so they lived together in those times. So that was how they lived their lives in those times. The freight still works. 1950 that they came here, we've never changed the motor, we've never filled the gas, it still works. Yes, okay. So, we'll go upstairs to continue the tour. Excellency, we have the 15th king of Asante, Otumfuo Kokwa II, who ruled from 1970 to 1999. It was during this time, in the year 1995, that this old palace was converted into a palace museum when it was celebrating its 25 years on the throne. And we also have the late Queen Mother Nana Efiakobi-Sewampem, the second. She was Queen Mother from 1977 till 2016. 39 years on the throne. She passed on at age 111. She gave birth to 5 children. 3 of them are late, remaining 2. The firstborn and the lastborn. Now the firstborn is the current Queen Mother, and the lastborn is the current king that we have meeting this morning. So that is the mom. Asante and the beautiful series of wars. One of the such wars that Asante will never forget was fought in the year 1874. We call it Ganatuosiri War. But Asante shortened it, called it Sekrenti War. That war, Asante were heavily defeated by the British. The entire city Kumasi was set ablaze, together with the palace of Asante king. That was when our gold, our treasures were taken away by the British. And since that time, there have been several calls to bring the items back, but to no avail. The argument was that we didn't have a place to keep them. But thanks be to the leadership of our king, Otumfuo II. During the coronation of King Charles, after the coronation, Otumfuo met the leadership of the British Museum, Victoria and Albert Museum, and they decided to bring some of the items back. Your Excellency, that is some of them that you see here. These are items from the Victoria and Albert Museum, the British Museum. Can I say the sad thing is that these items are on loan. You are loaning them to us. The same items that belong to us, you are loaning them to us. they will go back, maybe they say it's because of the law of antiquity, yes, which of course we agree with them. So they are here for a period, a maximum period of 6 years, and maybe there will be another negotiation and they will continue till that time. So these are the ingenuity, the creativity of our forebears, even though they never had formal education. But look at what they created at that time. Not only this are loans, the axe. So these are some of the things, the peace pipe, the ladder, silver ladder, and we also have this chair, and we have this the Impoposio sword. This sword is very significant. That is the sword they used to swear the oath of office. without which there's no chief, there's no king. In our tradition, it was created by our chief priest Okomfanochi in the year 1721 for Opokuwari, for some strange way the king was giving birth. So this is the sword that before any king, any chief becomes or assumes office, he has to use this one to swear the oath. So to the thinking of the British, they thought by taking away this sword, it would deny us of our kingship. But they didn't know that the creation of this sword is innate. So when this one was gone, Asante could create another one. That's what we have been using since then. So this one is the one that was taken away by them. And also have these items from the Fala Museum, Los Angeles, California. This man, welcome. You see, we have the Welcome Trust. This man collected so many items and he gifted these items to the Fala Museum. But the Fala Museum thinks that this traces its origin to Asante. So these ones have been brought to us for good. So they are not going back again. So that is from the Fala Museum, Los Angeles, California. Excellency, we have our King Otumfuo Agyemang-Prempeh I, who was arrested and taken to Seychelles in the year 1896. When he was only 26 years. He was the 13th king, and at age 26 he was arrested. First he was sent to Elena Castle, Cape Coast for 1 year, almost 4 years in Sierra Leone, before he was taken to Seychelles for 24 years. So in all, the king was away for 28 years. He was brought back in the year 1924, and this house was giving him as a compensation, but Asante refused. When he was arrested, because there was no road, the British colonial government had wanted to walk him from here to Elena Castle. But Asante said, no, we can't allow our king to walk. So they carried him in the palanquin with the umbrella on from here to Cape Coast, about 3 weeks, and we have about 600 people followed him. So that is our king in the palanquin in the year 1996. And on the day of his arrest, this is the replica cloth he was wearing. And when he returned from Seychelles, the former devil that was used to welcome him back to Kumasi, that was the cloth he was wearing. So this cloth, and over there, the king received formal education. So you see him being taught how to read and write. So that is, they gave him a Ghanaian tutor called Teacher Kosa in Seychelles. So he taught him how to, so he returned illiterate. And over there, he was also baptized into Anglican faith, and he was given the English name. So he was given this cross in the year 1904 and the Bible. So they gave him the English name Edward. See, he returned Mr. Edward Prempeh. So that is, and this is the miniature shape that took him to Seychelles. Good. Let's go to the last room here. Yes, the history of Asante is incomplete without talking about this powerful lady, Manhyia Asantewa. She was prime mother at Ejoso. The chief at Ejoso had been taken to Seychelles. She was acting as a chief when the British came back to Kumasi, demanding for the gold stool of Asante. You see the picture of the gold stool, popularly known as the golden stool. The gold stool is the symbolic essence of Asante, the blood, the soul, the spirit of Asante. Once the gold stool is missing, that would be the end of Asante Kingdom. And that was what the British colonial government was determined to take away. But there was no one, even though the men were around, but they were all afraid to stand the might of the British. It took the bravery of this woman, Manhyia Asantewa, who was 65 then. She took the gun and said, men of Asante, how can a proud and a brave Asante sit back to look on whilst the king and the chiefs are taken away? Now they've come to take our pride, and you are sitting down doing nothing. Tell the governor, Manhyia Asantewa will not give a penny to the governor. If you, the chiefs, and the men will stand there as cowards, exchange your lion cross for my undergarment. So this is the woman, 65 years, who took the gun. And the normal circumstances, women are not supposed to go to war. But this woman, sensing that the men were not ready, she took the gun and said, I am ready. So she led the army. They fought the British for almost 9 months. Because the British were using sophisticated weapons, Asante were heavily defeated, but they could not take away our pride. Rather, she was arrested, taken to Seychelles, where she passed in the year 1921 at age 89. So that's the woman without formal education, no military training. She has left a legacy for us that we also must learn from it. One day when we are dead and gone, we shall remember. So the name Asantewa has become a household name in Asante. That at least every house that we enter, you get one person named after this woman. Asantewa. So that's the woman we are so proud of. Thank you very much. We go downstairs to see the. Excellency, we have our kings. Otumfuo was said to the second, the 16th king of Asante. He has been on the throne for 26 years. He is 75 years. He is the Chancellor of Manhyia University of Science and Technology. Passion for education. On his instrument, he set up Otumfuo Education Fund. The fund has catered for about 300,000 students in Ghana, and he has also provided facility for different institutions in Ghana. He is the peace, the stability of this nation. Even though he's not the president of Ghana, but his influence is very, very much acknowledged. So that is our king Otumfuo was here to the second, who is doing a lot for Mother Ghana behind the scenes. And also have, that is the last born of the late Queen Mother I talked to you about. And we have the first born, who happens to be our Queen Mother. So she is the mother of all. Even though they are a brother and a sister, as soon as she becomes the Queen Mother, the king does not call her sister. She calls her mother. So now he's the mother of all. So thank you very much for having you at the Manhyia Palace Museum. We appreciate your coming, and we forever remember you for your visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.